Namaskar. My phrase for today is from Shakespeare. I haven't read a whole bunch of Shakespeare, but if it was only this phrase, I would still be incredibly grateful. So the phrase is, "Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing." That phrase could be straight from Advaita Vedanta. It could be Buddhism talking about emptiness. To me, it's attractive because of the beauty of the language, the poetry, the humor, the detachment, the incisiveness, the truth in it. And when I think of it, it just, kind of helps me let go a little bit because, like anybody else, I get caught up in this rat race. I get preoccupied with things that aren't that important. I get offended by things that aren't that important and are really just a matter of ego. And I think that's what that phrase does. It cuts through. It's describing in very humorous and poetic and unforgettable language the rat race. What is it really? How important are all these things that we get attached to, and we rush around so much that our life is over, and what was it all about? So some people might feel that that phrase is kind of, a little bit nihilistic, that it, if you have that kind of attitude, if life is just a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing, well, what's the point of anything? Well, the point of it is to see that, to cut through it, to find the stillness and the empty, to see that emptiness and to enjoy what's behind it. Right? So when one thinks about that phrase, there's a little bit of a relief, a release. One lets go in the humor, and this is one of the benefits of humor. It cuts through and lets you laugh at yourself, laugh at life, laugh at society, and in that release, come back to being, come back to stillness. So how much more nicely and harmoniously we could live with each other if we weren't letting our ego get so upset about things that have no great importance, and if we weren't spending so much of our lives running after things that have no great importance. So detachment, humorous detachment. And I like that phrase also because of the word nothing. In Buddhism, there's a teaching that everything is emptiness, right? So that Buddhist teaching is encouraging us to cut through the apparent reality, realize that everything is changing and that there is nothing of substance, eternal substance in this changing world. But it becomes something which is blissful because that nothingness and that emptiness in itself is to be realized, experienced, and enjoyed. Right? When we let go of these things of temporary importance, we can then be free to enjoy emptiness, stillness, something that many people are afraid of, but actually is blissful in its nature. And I'm reminded of one of the lesser-known teachings of Freud, again, I haven't read Freud to any great extent, but like many of us, we know that he taught that eros, or sexual desire, is a fundamental motivating factor of human beings. And while that certainly is a powerful force in human life, what is less known is that he also talked about thanatos, the instinct and the desire in human beings for stillness, for nothingness, for emptiness and the void. So those two elements are present, this kind of hunger after desire, but also the hunger after freedom from desire, for stillness and emptiness. And the ultimate goal of yoga is that freedom from being pulled back again and again into this tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. So when one achieves self-realization, when one lets go of superficial attachment and merges into one's source, there is no need to be reborn. We are permanently established in nothingness, emptiness, which is just another word for fullness and totality and, the absolute. So the presence of that word, nothing, at the end of Shakespeare's phrase, life is a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing. So that word, for those of us who have an ear, who are searching for that nothing, for that stillness, that adds a beautiful spiritual dimension to the poetry. So there it is, a phrase from Shakespeare that can just, wake you up from your dream, wake you up from the rat race, and make you laugh at yourself, make you laugh at life. And hopefully, in that detachment and freedom, come back to enjoying one's sense of simply being, and also being free and detached so that we can live with each other more easily. Thank you. Namaskar.